Hey everybody, so exciting news. I am about to head off on a helicopter tour in order to see the newest addition to the eruption on Reykjanes Peninsula. And I'm excited about this for a couple of reasons. First of all, because this is an option that maybe some of you might find interesting or necessary for you, depending on how much time you have or abilities for walking to the recent volcanic action that's happening. But before I get into the trip, because I'm over by the hangar in order to get on the helicopter, but I have a few minutes. So I thought I would just do a recap of the eruption and kind of where we're at. So the eruption started on July 10th, and it's in a similar area as the previous two eruptions that happened in the last couple of summers. So it seems that summers in Iceland are turning into like volcanic eruption time, which don't count on that for the future, but I'm just putting it out there as a fact as of the last couple of years. And this eruption is different in that the area it's in, while flatter to get to, it's definitely much longer to walk in order for people to access it. Also, it's been said that it's twice as strong as previous eruptions, which is really intense. And already the lava flow from this eruption has touched on the lava flow from a previous one, which is incredible. So there's a lot of lava that is, of course, coming out of this eruption. And who knows how much more will come, how much longer it will last. And in addition, though, in terms of people being able to visit, there's been a lot of pollution in the area. A lot of this is due, though, to the fact that it's been really dry in Iceland, like unheard of type of beautiful, amazing weather. This happens every couple of summers, it seems, where we get lucky and we have days where it's so beautiful. And yeah, it's been happening more consistently, but that also means that due to it being dry, the moss in the area where the eruption is happening is catching fire, and it's literally causing wildfires. That's causing a lot of pollution in addition to the gases that come from a volcanic eruption. So this has caused the authorities in the area to shut down the eruption. In addition, though, I have to mention people being ridiculous and climbing on craters where volcanic lava is, erupting, or even walking on lava that is fairly new, not realizing that that's super dangerous. Like people taking pictures with their children on the lava. It's incredible and unfortunate. And thankfully no one has been seriously hurt or has died, knock on wood, that doesn't happen at all. But the whole point is authorities had to shut down the area for at least 4 days, it might have been 5. And it recently opened up, like literally today. So it is July 17th, and when I'm filming this, and they just announced about an hour ago that the eruption site is open. Of course, that was hard for people who came to visit Iceland. They have limited time, which is why a helicopter tour can be useful. At some points, though, the airspace was restricted for them to be able to monitor the area and use helicopters to pour water and different things like that. So it doesn't always guarantee it, but from the angle, which I'm excited about seeing, that's really cool. And then the path itself is what I want to talk about, because it's around 20 kilometers round trip, or 12.4 miles on pretty rough terrain. Many people would consider it easy because you don't have to go up and down a lot of hills or anything, but of course it's different for everybody, and walking that amount is not what most people are doing. So just keep that in mind if you are planning to visit the volcanic eruption and plan to walk. You don't need a tour necessarily from a guide to walk there. It's your choice if you'd like to. Maybe going with a geologist if you walk, that's cool. But for this particular video, for this helicopter ride, I partnered with Volcano Heli in order to do that on their extended volcano sightseeing trip. It's not landing at the volcano site, but there's a lot of great opportunities and angles in order to be able to see the volcano and the eruption. So now you have the recap of what's going on with the volcanic eruption, at least a little synopsis. And I'll have a link actually to a Facebook group where there's a lot of activity and updates from people who are geologists and really knowledgeable and who have visited and stuff like that, if you just happen to want more information that's helpful. But I want to get on to the helicopter ride and show you all the beautiful sights. I'm excited. Here is the helicopter that I'll be flying in today. And after getting all buckled in, I've got my headset on, ready to go. For those who haven't been in a helicopter before, this is just what the front seat looks like. And that was the pilot, Jan, who was super nice and made sure that we were all safe and ready to take off. And then off we went. And I loved the views of the city as we were taking off and coming back, which I'll show a little bit of later. But in the distance, you can see the famous Hallgrímskirkja church. But we're turning now in order to head towards volcanic eruption. And you'll see in the distance, there's a bunch of gas, like a stream of gas. That's where we're heading. And then you can see as we get closer, around the edges of the eruption where the lava is, that's the wildfire. So it was much more than this, but they've been really getting it under control, which is awesome. And the eruption itself, it's amazing how well we could see it from the helicopter. This bubbling pot, in essence, this crater of molten hot lava, and just the surrounding area. It was so gorgeous. And you'll even see, just for perspective, these tiny little people who had hiked up to that mountain in order to see the eruption itself. But this is the flow from just this eruption. Like I mentioned, is twice as big or twice as much lava as previously, and has already flowed to the previous eruption, which is insane to think about and incredible. And down there, if you look closely, you can see little people, those people who were just arriving, because they had opened up the site when I had filmed this on July 17th. And here we are again with just more shots of it. We also spotted one of the Coast Guard helicopters that's been delivering or picking up some boxes, depending on the wildfire efforts. As you can see, there's different spots along the perimeter of the volcano that is on fire. This mountain in the distance is Heli, which is fun to climb or hike, usually when there's not a volcanic eruption going on. But we were heading back, and as you'll see, we get closer, and there's really awesome, beautiful views before we end up landing in Reykjavik again. All right, so I just got out of the helicopter. So much fun. And yeah, as you saw, the views are incredible. And on top of course, seeing the eruption itself, you have so many other views of the city and of parts of Reykjanes Peninsula, like the Moss Field. And it's gorgeous. Highly, highly, highly recommend doing a helicopter tour, even if you plan on walking. Like at some point, I do plan on actually making the hike, just depending on time. I've got a lot of other projects going on, so that's one of the reasons why doing this collaboration was awesome. So I highly recommend Volcano Heli. They were amazing, really professional, super fun to fly with. Jan was such a good time, who was the pilot. And I just loved it. We had a great day. Of course, we're having, like I mentioned, amazing weather in Iceland now. So yeah, this is just the update for now. Of course, if there's anything else that happens with the volcano that is significant, I will be back to let people know what's going on. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, definitely make sure you give it a like and share it with somebody who you think would find it helpful or interesting to watch this volcanic eruption. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.